Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the governing body of the Zoning Board of Adjustment will be held on the 5th day of May 2021 at 6 p.m. at Navasota City Hall in the City Council Chambers, located at 200 East McAlpine Street, Navasota, Texas, at which time the following subjects will be considered to wit. We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:05. We're here to conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comment and testimony regarding a variance application submitted to the City of Navasota by Urbano Perez for the property located at 709 West Virginia Street, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868. The zoning variance application requests a variance from the front and side setback requirements as prescribed in Article 9R-3 High Density Multi-Dwelling Unit Residential District for the construction of a carport and patio. The property affected is legally described as Washington Park, Block H, Lot 45, parentheses E/2, close parentheses.
All right, Mr. Hamian, we'll open the public hearing at 6:04.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Adjustment, City staff received a variance application from Mr. Perez earlier this month. He is requesting to build a carport on his front driveway and a patio on the east side of his home. Current setback requirements for his property are 25 feet away from the front property line. So the proposed carport that he intends to build would encroach 21 feet within that 25. So he wants to be 4 feet away from the front property line versus the required 25. And then on the side, for the patio, he's requesting a 1 foot setback. So that would be a 14-foot encroachment within the 15-foot requirement. In your staff report, I believe it's on the 3rd page, we've did a little bit of color coding in there so you know which is which. The thinner line is the property line, and then of course the squares demonstrated there are the carport and patio. Mr. Perez is here tonight if y'all have any questions. I believe he told me earlier in the week that some of the things he might not understand, so I may have to translate for him if he doesn't. But if y'all have any questions, we're here.
One of my questions is...
Sorry, good evening. This is Gretchen Cleopas. My only question in reviewing the documents is, and I may have missed it, and if so, I apologize. What will the construction method be for this carport? What are the materials being used?
Ms. Cleopas, I believe it's going to be your standard. I mean, it's not enclosed or anything, so it's just all wood. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Perez, but it's a metal roof, right? Metal roof on the carport. Yeah, on the carport, on the driveway, yeah. Metal, right?
Yeah.
And what about the patio?
The patio is of wood.
Wood. Okay. So there.
Will be typical wood framing, 2x4s with a metal roof?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay.
Lupe, I actually had a question for the city here. It's just something I'm finding a little odd is that the property line is set back what looks about 12 feet from the street. Is there a particular reason why this particular street has that setback? Because I notice even the other side of the street, it's only about 3 to 4 feet back from the street.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those neighborhoods where, and it happens actually quite a bit around town where you have these really large right-of-ways. For example, I think the average right-of-way in the city is about 60 feet wide, and your typical pavement is only about 18 when you have a ditch on each side. And that's just, a long time ago, I guess they figured that if one day they made the road bigger or needed more utilities, they have the room for it.
Okay.
But it's actually pretty common around town. A lot of people, when they approach the city and ask for permits, and we tell them it's a 25-foot setback, their initial reaction is to go to the edge of the pavement and measure.
Right.
But they don't realize that's actually within city right-of-way. They have to actually find their corner pins. And the picture, I think it's on the second page, he actually already has fenced his property right on the property line, and there you can see that distance.
Right,
as
yeah.
well.
My question is that there is no utilities on the side, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. There's no underground utilities, and I don't believe there's any overhead either.
Okay.
Now, Louis, is there an existing carport there? I see here this truck is parked in the driveway, and it looks like there's some sort of a carport that's already there.
Ms. Duncan, so that what you see, or that partially completed structure,
Right.
is the proposed patio that he's wanting to build. In the process of him doing that, he kind of had a light bulb moment. He said, "Oh, you know what? Before I finish this, let me go check with the city." So he actually came to us when he had put a few of those posts up already, and that's when we let him know about all the setbacks. So he kind of put it on pause pending tonight's decision. But that is the actual patio that's shown there in orange on your diagram.
Right. Well, now this is right on the, I guess, the bottom picture where there's a pickup truck parked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then right in front of it, looks like there's a white post coming down on the right side. That's why I'm asking, is that an existing carport? See what I'm saying? See right here? Yeah.
Oh, so the home actually has some area where there, it's kind of like those cutout patios where it follows the roof line of the home, but there's like a shade under. Yeah, that's just part of the home. There's not actually anything built out on the driveway.
Okay. That's just part of the roof line then?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question? And that is, who owns the property that's next door? And what is the potential of home or something going in there that may have to see a patio right on their property line?
You mean to the left? That's a public park, isn't it? A basketball court or something is there?
No, it's actually private property, and it's owned by Lonnie Turner Properties LLC. We sent out the notifications and the letters, and I didn't hear from Mr. Turner, so I'm not sure if. he spoke with the neighboring owner and that he didn't have any issues, but I mean, he's not here tonight, so.
How many letters were sent out? Do you know?
Mr. Hammy, there were 67 letters, and so the ordinance right now says 200, but we've been notifying up to 500 feet. So out of those 67 letters, I only got one call leading up to this meeting. He didn't give me a name or anything. He just said, you know, what is this about? And then once I told them, they said, oh, okay, and that was it. They didn't say whether they were against it or for it. So, and we also place a sign on the property at least 10 days before this hearing that says that there's a public hearing for a variance request and the date and time as well.
Josh, does that kind of answer your question? No.
Yes, sir.
So now we'll close the public hearing. And consideration and possible action on order number 2-2021, approving a variance application submitted to the City of Navasota by Urbano Perez for the property located at 709 West Virginia Street, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868. The zoning variance application requests a variance from the front and side setbacks requirements as prescribed in Article 9R-3, high-density multi-dwelling unit residential district for the construction of a carport and patio. The property affected is legally described as Washington Park, Block H, Lot 4-5, open parentheses, E/2, close parentheses.
Board of Adjustment on this item is where y'all can deliberate y'all's decision before y'all make a motion, whether to approve or deny or make any modifications.
I'm okay with it.
The only thing I think I'm against is having that patio be that close to his fence line there.
Yeah, that's my feeling too.
So
Just a foot from the property line then.
unofficially, we're in favor of the front setback.
Yes, we're in favor of the carport.
We're against the side.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to put in my 2 cents. I agree with the front, but on the side, is there any way that we can make a recommendation that a privacy fence has to be put up so that no one does have to deal with being right on top of the view of someone's patio?
The privacy fence already exists according to this picture here.
Okay.
It appears to be, is that an 8-foot fence or is that just a 6-foot fence?
Now, would Mr. Perez be in agreement that the side be moved from a 1-foot setback to a 3-foot, so that way it's not on the property line in the event that the person that lives next door wants to do something?
Like a higher fence?
No, move the fence.
No, in case the person on the property next door wants to create a higher fence, they'd have more area to do it instead of being butted up, if I'm understanding what you're saying.
Ms. Cleophas, I think he's referring to like if the neighboring property one day built a home or something and they wanted to also build an accessory building or a patio, you know, they wouldn't be so close to each other, and that really comes down to fire code too.
Understood.
Yeah, because it seems like there's a big space in the backyard for a patio.
Right. That's why I'm kind of.
So Mr. Perez saying if it would be okay, he'd be willing to adjust it to 2 foot. One of the main reasons is he's still trying to have enough room if one day he does want to park another vehicle on that side, he would still have room. So that's what he's asking for.
Well, I don't think, between a rock and a hard place, I don't think, it could be accomplished with a 2 foot. I think it would probably have to be 3 foot, or we probably couldn't vote to satisfy his need if it's not 3 foot.
To clarify your point, make sure we're all on the same page here, we're talking about reducing the size of the patio from a 1 foot setback to a
Right,
3 foot.
right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
So is he essentially wanting to use this patio area to park a car under? Is that what he was saying?
He said eventually.
Yeah, so
Eventually.
the reason that he was wanting the 1 foot and he's opposed to the 3 foot is that he still wants to be able to fit one if one day he wants to park one there. But if y'all if only 3 would work, then he's okay with that too.
Yeah, I think that's about the only way I'll agree to it.
Too.
I think we're in agreement. Okay?
So somebody would have to make a motion to amend that side setback to 3 feet instead of the 1, and then the other as presented.
Okay, well then, I'll go ahead and make the motion for the amended patio for a 3 foot setback and
I second the
approving.
motion.
Motion's been made and been second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay.
Let me ask one more question about that first.
One question.
Okay. His fence line is right on his property line in the front? Or is that within so many feet setback? How far is that from the?
So it's exactly on his front property line. So it's actually around 8 to 10 inches setback from the property line. So he left a little bit of buffer in there from the exterior or from the front property line.
So then how many feet would that leave from his property line to where the carport will end or begin?
But right at 4 feet.
Right at 4 feet? Okay.
So if the fence is 8 to 10 inches behind the property line, then the fence and the carport would be roughly
Right at
a little
4.
over 3 feet apart.
Okay. More questions?
Mr. Hammy, before we move on to the next item, I just want to make sure I clarify the vote is correct. Were all members in favor of the changes?
For the side patio?
The side 3 and the front 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claffis, were you in favor of that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Mr. Hammy, we can go to item 5 now.
Item 5, consideration and possible action on approval of the February 24th, 2021 meeting minutes as presented. I make a motion that we accept approval of the February 24th minutes.
I'll second that motion.
A motion's been made and a motion's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Okay, we're finished.
Yep, meeting's adjourned at
Meeting's
6:23.
adjourned. What time?
6:23, Mr. Hammy.
6:23.